Hello and welcome, and how are you on this lovely Monday evening? So this is the full moon, the first full moon in our new financial year. So new moons are all about new beginnings, but the full moons expand everything and they shed light on everything. So they reveal and expand what's going on. So again, I'm not an astrologist, but I love listening to the inspiration and the ideas that we get from a few lovely astrologers that I follow. And so I thought it was a great opportunity to come on tonight. Let's start off the new month, look at the themes, look at what we want to focus on, and see what the new moon is going to shed light on. So for me, I'm working with the Pillar Code as always, and I recommend the Creators Club to anyone. It's just a lovely way to keep us working on our goals and what we're choosing and what we're manifesting. So Pillar 7 in the Pillar Code is the pillar of awareness, and it's all about self-awareness. And, you know, we can't expand and grow without looking at ourselves and looking at the past. So this is an important focus to look at: what am I doing? What have I achieved up until now? What have I learned about myself? And what am I choosing to work on? So to me, the self-awareness is really important. How did we get to here? And what am I doing now? What are the results of my labors, and what are the results of the efforts that I'm putting into life? And who am I being, and what am I choosing? All those lovely things, all that self-reflection is very important. So the full moon this month is in Capricorn, and so the sun is in Cancer, the full moon's in Capricorn. I've got my full moon, my moon is in Capricorn, and I've got Cancer ascendant. So the Cancer, anyone who's got a Cancer birthday around now, that's all about the mothering and the nurturing. So again, a lovely time to reflect on how are we mothering and nurturing ourselves. And Capricorn is a lot around, particularly with this full moon, I'm told, all the stuff that's going on, it's a very prosperous full moon. It's looking at expanding our power and looking at abundance. What are we choosing to manifest? So it's perfect for this time of year, the beginning of our new financial year here in Australia. And any full moon always brings up more emotion and more feelings. So if people are getting more emotional around you, or you're getting more emotional, then this is probably why. So don't take it too personally. Just take your time with it. Let the emotions flow. Be aware and look at what are those emotions trying to tell you. As someone explained to me many years ago, it was actually one of my clients, a young man, and he had learned from another guru that our emotions are our wise self talking to us. And I've always loved that. So the emotions come from deep inside of us. They come from our gut instincts. So we need to go inside and have a look at what are the emotions trying to reveal around the full moon. What are they trying to shed light on? So that's lovely. What else have we got? Capricorn in the collective is all around power, government, traditional structures. So we're looking, so what I thought we might look at here is the internal and the external, so the collective and the personal. So the full moon sheds light on, and particularly apparently Pluto has gone retrograde. Pluto, I've made some little notes here. Let me see. Pluto is all around the fight for power, government. He was the Lord of the underworld. I know I think he's the Lord of war. He breaks down the sign that he's in order to expose the corruptions and what needs to be fixed and revealed. Apparently he brings up, I'm calling him, he brings up all the old stuff that needs to be reviewed and looked on again and revised. So bringing up old traumas so that we can bring it up into our consciousness, witness them, acknowledge them, and then let them go. So it's a great time to have a look at, as I said, how did we get here? Look back on our lives, look right back to our childhood, and look at what we've learned in the past and what we're choosing then to be aware of, transform, transmute, and change and grow. So in the collective, this is all about corruption, exposing what is not good for the collective in power grabs and power struggles. So we've seen lots of that with the wars going on, corruption over, all the medical issues that have been going on. Actually, it's interesting that President Biden has just revealed some new documentation, the final report, I think, the final federal report on where the coronavirus originated from, and was it from the Wuhan labs. So apparently the documents have come out and revealed what I've heard. Dr. John Campbell was talking about this. Apparently it's very indecisive. So this is supposed to be a definitive report, and he made some funny comment about, well, it was anything but definitive. It's like, we almost still don't know, but they definitely made it clear that they were working with the Chinese government and that the Chinese army were involved in the research. So for people who may not know this, if you look back, gain of function research, so that's taking viruses or taking bacteria, taking things like that. They're like almost like chemical warfare in a way, but probably doing it hopefully for the very best of intentions, taking virus and things, looking at how could they change them and manipulate them. Well, actually, even saying it doesn't sound good. But how could they gain function out of it? So how could they make them more powerful? And then you have to, so I guess they're doing it so they're prepared for, if worse viruses come out. So I know they've been working on the COVID or the coronavirus virus for a very long time, for 10 or 20 years or more. So, but in America, they ruled out gain of function research many years ago, like 10 or more years ago. And because they couldn't do it in America anymore, they put money into China. So the gain of function research was all done in China. So that's a fact. That's not conspiracy. That's what's happened. But people might not understand gain of function research and also why it was going on. And I think a lot of it was also being done in Russia or the Ukraine. I might be mixing those up. So, but there was a lot of research going on there too. Anyway, grab for power, grab for control. So the question is, let's look at power for us. What does power mean for you? Who has power over you? So who or what rules you? What governs you? What tells you what you can or cannot do? So we're talking about governments, maybe religions, politics, teaching, what you've been brought up to believe. They were external influences on you. But then also have a look at the internal influences. What have you internalized? What have you taken on to be your own? So what is it about you, your rules for yourself? So that's related to your values. What values, what beliefs do you have? What experiences have you had in the past? This is where we do the reflection, that have created beliefs which may have been relevant at the time, but really aren't useful or relevant anymore. So these are the things we need to go back and have a look at and go, how did I get here? What do I believe, or what do I still hold on to in terms of my beliefs, my values, that maybe I need to review and go, is that still relevant for me? And am I being the powerful person in my life? And power is one of my big things. I love personal power, being independent. And that's how we become adults, by being independent. So the other big thing that's still going on to do with Pluto and Uranus and this retrograde again. So Pluto had finally moved into Aquarius, because we're now in the age of Aquarius, which is much, instead of having a top-down structure, so a few people at the top of the pyramid ruling everybody, we have a much flatter structure. So the theory is that we're going to move much more into having more community, being ruling ourselves almost eventually. I don't know how that's all going to work, but that's the theory. But also much more equality and much more harmony. So we'll see, that's what some of the nice attributes of Aquarius. I don't want to go on too long here, but this is the new stuff. The old is represented by Capricorn because it's the old structures, the old hierarchical structures, and again, governments, religions, the banks ruling everybody, the external powers that were in charge of everybody and everything. So again, coming back into yourself, are you being your personal power? So I always go, take responsibility. You are the responsible person in your life. And while you have responsibility, you have the power to make your own choices. And when you consciously, so this is raising our consciousness, knowing that we can make choices, then we are being empowered. So taking responsibility, knowing that we've got the power to make choices, then empowers us again. So we get onto that positive spiral, if you like, and then we keep going up. So a good thing to look at, as well as what are your beliefs and values, where are you making choices? What choices are you making? And where do you feel you can't make choices? Because that'll be really good to examine and have a look at. All right, so I wondered, were there any cards that might give us some direction for the month? And of course, there's a few jumped up straight away, and they're very nice little themes. Again, I'm working with the I Ching, the Chinese symbolism. So this was really good. The situation has collapsed in a state of disrepair. So you see, we're talking about tearing down the old. You need to look for the genetic and the inherited weaknesses that led to the deterioration of the problems. So that's looking back. So I've done a lot of work with clients recently looking at their genetics and looking at their inherited weaknesses. There's a whole thing I want to get into very soon, and I might do it this month because I think it works really well with the self-awareness reflection theme. And it's looking at how our physical structure is determined by our psyche and also by what we've inherited. So you get family structures affecting our physical structure and our psychoanalysis into all of that. So it's really interesting. So looking back at the inherited weaknesses, the genetic weaknesses, and have a look at what led to the deterioration and the current problem. Take the time to consider the course of action that you need to follow in this situation. This time offers great success, for with conscious effort, you have the opportunity to repair and balance the problems of the past and carefully restore flexibility. So that's lovely. The card's called, the title is Work on What is Spoiled. So like, have a look at what's not working. So really think about what's not working in your life and what you'd like to change. Where do you think you've got no choices? So the other pack that came up is this lovely soul pack. And this is all, so we're bringing in our soul. We're always bringing in our soul. And this is soul lessons and soul purpose. We need to be more soulful. Do you have a soul? Of course you do. Let's get to know it. Let's do soul awareness. I think that's better. Let's make this month soul awareness and self-awareness, okay? So let's have a look. Beautiful cards coming up. I just loved the words. The very first one I looked at was a wake-up call. And people are always talking about, let's wake up, wake everybody up. So all that means is being conscious. Are you consciously choosing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, or are you just robotically doing the same old thing over and over again? So I'm not going to read all of this. They're quite long. So just a little bit. As your soul begins to stir, it creates an inner restlessness that cannot be denied. This energetic disturbance is a wake-up call from your higher self to recall your soul's commitments. those lessons and intentions that you have come to learn. So you've come here to learn these and to fulfill as you incarnated into physical form and to begin your life's journey. Remember last month we had your journey, the journey of you. So heed this call by honestly examining your life as it is today. Ask yourself, how satisfied do you feel so far? Look at not only what's there, but also what's missing. What inner signals from your soul have you been ignoring? What vibes have you been pretending not to recognize for fear of disrupting the status quo? And what distractions are still stifling your soul summons to grow? Trying to get my words out. No matter, the soul cannot be silenced, nor can it be ignored. So I thought that was lovely. So it's time for a wake-up call. The next card, it's just the number, the way they come out, it's the way I muscle test them. This is be decisive. He's slicing down that pair. So be decisive. Are you second guessing your decisions? Are you reflecting on choices made in the past? Bit of a theme. Wondering why the world, wondering why in the world you made them. That makes more sense. Are you being wishy-washy rather than acting decisively? And are you going round in circles? Your soul's purpose right now is to make determinations that are aligned with your priorities. We talked about that in my last video. And then stick to them. Your higher self is asking you to choose the kind of life you want. So choose. Love it. The other one, which is beautiful, I thought, great idea, retreat. Are you feeling world weary and physically fatigued? No matter how long you rest night after night, are you still completely worn out? In what part of your life do you repeatedly say, I'm so tired of this, and mean it? The psychic exhaustion is the direct result of overtaxing your body and brain and not connecting enough to your higher self as you struggle against the drama of the world. Your soul's purpose right now is to step away from the dissonant drain of the unconscious world and retreat into silence and meditation in order to stay connected to your higher self. So I'll make a little point there about sleep. If you're going to bed early, and so if you can't sleep, that's a big problem. Often I find the polarities are not working. So if you need help with sleep, please let me know. We can work on your polarities and we can sort those out. So that's the ability. So they're polar opposites, the ability to go to bed and to sleep. So to switch off the mind, switch off the body, and allow the soul to go off and rest and recuperate. Then you have to wake up in the morning and switch on. So are you switching on clearly? Is your mind switching on? And is your body switching on? And is your soul coming in and switching on? So that's really important. So quiet the mind in order to nurture the body and allow the soul to come in. So the last card with this was accept what is dying. So everything goes through cycles in life. Okay, the flowers lose their petals and die, and they fall into the earth and nurture the soil. What aspect of your life is clearly coming to an end? In what areas have you lost interest? And can you no longer muster the enthusiasm to carry on? Hence the tiredness of the last card. What part of your life has stopped supporting your spirit and must be surrendered? Your soul's purpose right now is to accept the natural cycles of life and death and directly confront what's presently ending in your life. So there's a lot of releasing, letting go of the old. The old ways do not work. The old rat race, being on the mouse wheel, going round and round in circles, doing the same old, same old. When you connect to your soul, you always want to ask the question, why? Why am I doing this? And why will show you your purpose. You know, a lot of the motivational Simon Sinek or whatever his name is, he's a great one for really reinforcing what's your why. You have to know your why in life, and your why is your purpose. So you want to live with purpose. You want your life to have meaning. No wonder we've got so much depression, and more work that I do with depression and with people these days. It's definitely a disconnect from the soul. When you are disconnected from your soul, you are not here on your life's purpose. So if there's no purpose, there's no meaning. Well, how depressing is that, you know? So these are the things we've got to look at and review. So wrapping it up, we're building the new, tearing out the old. So what can you prioritize? I talked about in the last video that I did. Prioritize, declutter, clear everything, make your life as simple as possible. So you've got more space to bring in your soul. You get more clarity and focus on what your purpose is and what you are choosing to manifest and create and build in your life. So let's start July off with lots of awareness, lots of self-reflection, and really look at what you're choosing. So happy July. I'm going to be jumping on, doing lots of talking about manifesting, purpose, awareness, all this lovely stuff. And I hope to talk to you soon. So please do a little like on the videos if you like them. It's if nothing else, it gives me a little bit of encouragement that you like them. And I'd really appreciate it. And then other people are drawn to it. You know, all the Facebook algorithms and all that stuff. But I do appreciate it. So have a wonderful evening. Talk to you soon and be well. Bye.